95.7 The Hog. It's the homegrown happy hour. Riggs Guy and the Morning Hog Brew review with that dude, Perrott's own Vinny.
What's going on, guys? Good morning. Good morning.
Is that snow? Or... Wait.
No, that's not.
Oh, it's sugar.
It's sugar. You know why? Do you know why?
I got some on my eye.
Oh, I hate when I get sugar in my eye.
Oh, it tastes good though.
It is delicious.
Why is it raining sugar?
Because we have SugarWorks here with us.
SugarWorks.
So SugarWorks is a new distillery out of New Smyrna.
Yes.
Pretty excited. I want to do all the talking, like I usually do, but I'm not gonna.
Fair.
I'm gonna let the owner and I'm gonna let the distiller do the talking. Introduce yourself.
My name is Tom McPeak. I'm the owner of SugarWorks Distillery. We are located in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and we've been open, I guess this is week number 11 for us.
Been that
wow.
long, Tom?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I remember when I went in there a while ago with Luke, and you guys were just getting all the boards put up and the stain put in and everything else taken care of, so that's awesome.
Yeah, we spent about 51 weeks building out the space. My partner Mike and I are both former architects. We joke that architecture led us to drinking, and here we are.
I bet you that's it, dude.
Yeah,
So you guys know how to drink technically then?
technically, yes.
Absolutely. That's
it's
great.
important.
I just free for all, but
And for 10 of those weeks, I drove past because I live right next to their location, and I was like, I'm going to take the kids over for some candy. It's not a candy store.
No, SugarWorks
It's for
is
grown-ups,
not.
really. Right?
It's an adult candy
Right,
store. You can still
exactly.
bring the kids.
even
Maybe they
better.
can drive you home when
That's
you're done.
way better for me, I think. That's a win-win for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't find any cotton candy when I was
No,
in there. Just so
not
you know.
yet. Not yet. Give them time, though.
Absolutely. But now we're pretty excited to try your product, Tom. The first one we're going to go with, I'll let you talk about it, is the...
So our rum is Turnbull Bay Rum. It's named after the founder of New Smyrna Beach, Andrew Turnbull, and the local body of water. And we wanted to put together something that was a little bit different in our rum. It uses a mixture of molasses and demerara sugar or raw sugar. And we do that to cut the bitterness that's typically associated with a traditional molasses-based rum.
Okay.
So this is going to be a little bit lighter. It's got a little bit of a banana note on the back end, and just a good, clean mixing rum.
So this is kind of like what they call the pirate style, right? You guys are going after that
Yes.
whole, so it's not super... Whoop.
That is a thing, pirate style?
Don't drink and pour at the same time. I don't know if you guys can see this here. I was
Usually
drinking
that
and
happens on
pouring.
pour number 5.
Absolutely, and I'm used to pouring beer.
What's the proof on this?
So
It's 80.
80 proof.
80 proof.
So everything that we have is 80 proof except for our moonshine, and it's 100.
Arg. That is, okay. No, pirate style. Seriously, that's a thing? Were you
well, I
kidding?
don't know if you would say that, but
Yeah?
it's more the classic style, right?
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a very traditional
that's smooth.
rum. Again, because of the sugar we use, it is going to be a bit smoother than most.
Okay.
And it's going to have a sweeter note on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, all the sugar's been extracted through the distilling process, but it's got a good flavor profile. Makes a great mojito.
Oh.
So like
mojitos.
white rums, a lot of those larger brands that make white rum, you have to mix it. I mean, you have to put it in with something and drink it
Yeah.
if you know you're correct. This, I mean, you can put a little bit of ice in there if you want. A little
Yeah.
twist of lime and sip it that way. So that's why they're so smooth. And that's why, these handcrafted ones are much better. We always talk about it may cost a little bit more, but you're getting such a better product.
Yeah.
You can just drink it straight if you want. And it makes a great mixing rum. But if you can drink a white rum straight with a piece of ice in it or just by itself, you got a damn good
That is
white
smooth,
rum.
though. I didn't even get the rum shivers on that. That was good.
That
and
is
that's,
good.
And that's actually a thing.
Yeah, the rum shivers.
That one,
is
yeah.
that-
You see, I
you
just
get
got
those?
faked it. It was a fake rum shiver.
isn't
No, it's
it
good. It's very smooth. Jeez.
The real test on any liquor is whether they add sugar to it or not. Because you add sugar to smooth it out or give the perception of being a smoother drink, and none of my stuff has any sugar at all
Really?
added on the back end.
And this would be gluten-free, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
So
Oh.
it's not made with it's made with the sugar, so that's boiled out, and of course sugar doesn't have gluten; it just has other stuff in it. But you boil it out, it comes out.
That's
in
correct.
It means our gluten counter.
Yep,
Zero.
And that means
Zero.
It's and it's good for your Weight Watchers,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. I bet you.
And
Really?
like
leave
that.
it to the big guy to say this, but that would go well in a cake as well, a good rum cake.
Absolutely.
Rum cake?
What?
Big old rum cake with a big glass of it right next
It
to you.
is the
Get it
holiday
all-
season.
Good.
Heading off to a holiday party, get guys rum cake.
Get guys rum cake.
It's a good idea.
If it's anything like your corn stuff was, that was amazing, dude.
Well,
I
thank
still
you.
think about that. I really do. I lay there at night and think about that. It's awesome. No, it's really good. His corn stuff is tremendous.
That was corny, but
It was
nice.
corny, but nice. I'm glad you liked it. But no, so that's absolutely right. Make a great rum cake. Out of
No,
it.
I'm going to lay at night and think about you laying at night thinking about his corn.
Absolutely. I mean, it's got a great smell to it. It's got a great everything to it.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
You know, sometimes you smell those rums or whatever else, and you get the rum shiver. You get
Right.
that like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna hurt going down.
Yeah.
This
Make
is,
the face.
yeah, you make that face, and you're like, oh, but not this one.
Yeah.
I like to test liquors by if I mule kick after I'm done drinking it.
right.
Like if I'm done drinking it and my foot goes down,
Yeah.
bam, I'm like, woo.
Makes sense. I like it.
No one was kicked in the process of that particular first sample.
Fun fact, that's how I count. Hey, Vinny, what's
Yeah.
1 + 2?
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's right. Well, since you stopped twice, we're going to number 2. What's next? It's got a lid.
That is so smooth. I'm
know.
sorry. I just tried mine.
No, please get on it.
All right, so this one has a lid. You said this is an experimental?
This is an experimental. So I've been working on a spiced rum for a little bit now, trying to get a nice variation of spiced.
It's a good thing we're not on video, Vinny. Anybody who's not
Come on,
watching
Vinny.
the
You
YouTube
can
channel
do
right
it.
now is seeing Vinny. You know what? Let Guy try it. I bet your hands. This is your ultimate revenge, Guy.
Oh, I loosened it.
You lose.
The man makes it for a living. He should know how to turn the lid. Were you going lefty tighty?
I think I was.
Righty loosey? I get you.
I think I was going
it's understandable.
What is the average time on from start to finish
goodness.
where you put the ingredients in and then bottling? What's the average time?
You know, great question. For this rum, was about a 4 to 5 day process. So we'll go ahead and mix up everything, some molasses, water, and the sugar. I boil that. I transfer it to the fermenter. I bring down the temp on that. So that process takes just a couple of hours. Then once it gets into the fermenter, I crash cool it. Takes a couple more hours. Then about 3.5 days to ferment. That'll bring us up to about a 10% solution, and we're working in volumes of about 211 gallons. Once I get that 10%, I push it back to the still, and then it's 8 to 10 hours to distill it. So in a 5-day period, we go from sugar and molasses and water to a finished product in the white rum.
So safely, I could say you're going to start on a Sunday, and I could have a full glass of it by Saturday.
Oh, absolutely. You can have a full bucket of it.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's
Now
the best
it's
way to do it. by the
much
way,
faster
by
than
the
beer,
bucket
isn't
load.
it?
Absolutely. Get a bucket of rum.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
like that. And we should do that somewhere. A bucket of rum.
And what? Tell me molasses, the molasses part of the process, because I always assume molasses and sugar directly tie, but not. Do they have to be?
Well, molasses is a derivative of sugar.
Yeah.
So you start with sugar cane, you boil that, you make a solution, and then that solution is then put in a centrifuge to begin to extract things.
Okay.
Molasses is the last stage of that extraction. The sugar that we use is actually the first stage. So raw sugar, turbinado sugar, demerara sugar, all the same thing, and it's those large crystals of sugar that you put in your coffee.
Okay.
So that then that particular one still has a lot of molasses in it, and it's the highest quality sugar you can get. Also the most expensive, but you get a really good product on the back end.
Awesome.
See, sometimes there again, we get back into that whole crafted thing. They may cost a little bit more, but these guys are using better ingredients. They're not using ingredients that you're going to find in, antifreeze or anything else like that. So we got to make sure that you realize that when you're out there supporting these guys.
So what is this one we have in our hand right now?
So this is our spiced rum.
Okay.
I took the Turnbull Bay rum that we
Oh,
had started
wow.
with.
That's got some
And
spice.
then I took 9 different spices. I roasted those spices, ground those spices, and then steeped them in the liquor for, I guess it was about 2 days. Again, this is an experimental. My intention is to go ahead
love the
and
spice.
get the recipe approved on this. We've had several customers try it, really liked it. I think it's a winner. And again, no sugar added. So if you've
Really?
ever had a commercial spiced rum, more than likely they've added right up to the legal limit of sugar in that to help augment it. This has none.
I'm going to
that's
tell you,
what-
you
yeah.
could smell those spices.
I was wondering at first. I was like, "Who lit a candle?" First of all, and then
just
I go to
amazing.
smell it, and I realize what it is, and then I taste it. And that is, it's like no other rum
There's
I've
definitely
ever had.
like a minty spice in there, but then there's also almost like a little heat as well
Okay.
that's going on. Although
You
said-
do.
yeah.
There's black pepper in there.
Yeah.
There's allspice. There's clove. There's
proud of you.
cinnamon. Like I said, 9 different spices, and I think it's got a really complex profile, but it tastes great.
Yeah, very good. Wow. Yeah, and I would not want to mess this up with
Oh, wow.
a mixer. You know?
Wow,
Oh,
that's what
the
you
way
make
it
your
is.
rum cake out of.
Yeah, this right. Yeah, okay. This right here.
Yeah. Throw that other
couple
cake
ice
away.
cubes. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I would not mix anything with this.
sit there with a good cigar.
I would not want to ruin something this good.
Nice cigar. Sit down with a couple ice cubes.
Wow.
Watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, sipping on this. That's all
Yeah.
I'm looking forward
I
to.
want-
This is definitely a by the fire ice cubes
Absolutely.
from the glass. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I want
delicious.
to. I want to discuss this. You know, I want to discuss the spices. You know, don't you?
I do.
Come on.
I saw that coming.
He said he was proud of me, dude. He was proud of me for
Pulling out the
catching hot
spices.
spice,
I
the
thought that
pepper.
was awesome with
Really
the
good,
pepper.
though.
These guys don't have a website yet. They're developing it. But if you go to facebook.com/Sugar Works Distillery, you can find them, and srprod.com, and not Beer Finder.
You can actually plug it in the beer.
You can
finder.
plug it in the beer
You
finder,
can buy
okay.
you can plug in wine. You can plug in our chocolate milk. You can plug in the spirits,
okay.
whatever else. So, and I know we just officially signed you guys Friday.
Yes.
Oh,
So
really?
we're gonna. Yep. That's why we waited to get them on here, just in case at the last minute they backed out. So we.
Well, and I know you guys were in attendance at the Hops and Hoods.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, if they decided not to sign, I was going to erase all the videos that we. No,
And that was my
I
best
would-
one, too.
I,
We were
absolutely, no, I
Still
wouldn't do that.
conscious on that one.
Again, we're on with Sugar Works Distillery out of New Smyrna.
Yeah, and it's amazing. You guys are located up there off of 44.
Yes, if you go to the intersection of 44 and Mission, there's, I believe there's a gas station.
A Wawa's?
Wawa, and we're in the shopping center right behind that.
Okay,
We've
perfect.
got the middle 2 bays.
And you guys can go there to sample and buy bottles from
That's
there.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to go there, buy bottles, and you're allowed to sample. The laws right now, we're not allowed to sell drinks or anything yet.
And
But-
we'll tour you around. Show
and
you
they'll
how
tow
we
you
do the
around.
product.
Oh, I'm
It's
coming
an
over.
amazing little place, and these guys are awesome. I
Bringing the kids.
First met them about 2 months ago, and just liked them ever since. So I'm glad they kind of signed up with us and go. And eventually, we'll start doing the same thing that we're doing with Copper Bottom with you on getting beer barrels out there to you, and vice versa, and running that whole situation. So we're pretty excited to get these guys up and going.
I've tried many of the commercial spiced rums. They are I don't.
They're sweet.
I don't not like them, but the sugar thing, which I don't think about when I'm having. When you have that, is so uniquely great in its flavor and not the sweet attack.
You just
Wonderful.
You just changed my world by telling me they had sugar to it,
Yeah.
because that really, I can tell that when I'm drinking those. It's like, oh, they're a little too sweet. But this,
Yeah.
like you said, 2 ice cubes, I could sit down and drink it. This is really good. I don't like that super sweet on the back. I want to get those spices
Yeah.
that you have in there.
And that's an experiment.
Absolutely,
That's not. That didn't have a label on it.
It doesn't. That's the stuff that you put in the back of a 1955 Pontiac
Yeah.
with a souped-up 305, and you run across the border with it.
We got to put up a label, guy. Bang out a label real
Everything
quick.
goes as planned. Should be available maybe February.
That's perfect.
Oh.
I've got to get approval on it.
My
but
birthday.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, everything he's doing is under government specs.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I'm just busting chops on
Exactly.
that. Everything is
Yeah.
good. And he's not on that show, Moonshiners. We're about to try his moonshine.
Oh,
but
really?
he's doing it legally. He's not out in the backwoods somewhere with a camera chasing him, and somehow the feds can't find him. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
that's
Is
that
Daisy,
show.
is Daisy Duke there?
She is.
Okay.
Yeah, she is. She looks like me now, but she's there.
Is that the? She looks good with the beard still. Is that the moonshine that we had at Hops and Hoods?
Yes.
Get gentlemen, get ready, get ready.
So
Tell us about
our
it.
Moonshine is what I would consider a traditional Appalachian recipe. It is a 100% corn. So the process in making it's really pretty straightforward. You grind corn, you add some enzymes to it that at the right temperature extract the starches, which convert to sugar, and boom, you can ferment. It is a unaged corn whiskey. So when people think in terms of a traditional moonshine, this is it. And we've gotten a lot of really interesting stories from folks that come in and taste the moonshine and associate this product with a memory.
Okay.
So we've got people that come in and say, my grandpa made this, or my grandfather,
Really?
or my uncle, aunt, whatever. And really interesting. And it's not just here in the States. I've got a real good friend, Chinese, that came in and he said, this tastes like a drink that we have at home called Mao Tai. And
Really?
never heard of it, but it is a traditional Chinese moonshine that tastes just like
I
this.
would never think of Chinese moonshine was a thing.
Same thing
Yeah.
in Hungary, Polinka.
Really?
Again, never had heard of it before people coming in and telling the stories.
Now, what is the difference between the moonshine that you see the moonshiners do and your moonshine?
The key differences are, one, they're not drinking this straight out of the still like you see on television. That's coming out of the still at 170 proof, and that's just not palatable. This is 100 proof. It is higher than a lot of the stuff that we have. Actually, everything else that I carry is at 80 proof, so it does have a higher alcohol content. But are the steps the same that have been done for hundreds of years in making Shine? Yeah, absolutely. It's just we pay the taxes. That's the real.
They do it legally,
Right.
and they don't have a camera crew.
So they're pretty much the same exact thing.
Pretty much.
It's just you're paying the government to be able to do it legally. I thought it was you had to take the proof down.
Well,
And I thought that's what that was.
You do take the proof down, but the reality is you can't consume it at 160
Yeah, this
proof.
is drinkable. That's the thing. You can sip this and enjoy
I haven't
it.
sipped it yet. I just wanted to ask the questions
Right.
before I sipped it.
So when you smell it, you're going to get a strong corn nose.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get the heat on the back end. But for what it is, it's really smooth. And again, an unaged whiskey. Now, we're going to try an aged whiskey too, where you can compare the difference. But that is traditional moonshine.
So basically, this you say is an unaged whiskey that hasn't been put in the barrel or anything. It's just your
Correct.
base that you would use for your whiskey.
Correct.
And you're just not. It's just coming out the way it is, and bang bang.
100% corn.
I never thought of it that way. So this is the start of whiskey. You just don't do the rest of the whiskey process.
Correct.
Yep.
Look at this.
And the government classifies that as a whiskey.
Boom.
I know.
Mind blown.
Boom.
There's almost too much learning in this
It
particular
is.
episode
This,
of the
this
Brew Review.
episode, there's a
almost.
bunch.
But I will tell you that and here's some more learning. I was born in Huntington, West Virginia, and so all of my
that explains a
parents
lot.
and my relatives and
They're-
grandparents,
They're all the same.
up hills, like in the hollers of West Virginia. So when I was little, there was always moonshine around. There was always a jar without a label,
bottle?
maybe with some masking tape and something written on it like "no" or "don't."
Don't
on it.
touch.
But that's how I came to understand moonshine when I was old enough to know what it
So,
was.
just curious, does your family tree have branches?
Oh no, they're all broken
They're
off.
all-
Yeah,
okay.
it was pruned, and there's just leaves
that-
on the ground, and we don't. 23andMe, no, thank you.
No,
don't want to know.
Yeah, you don't want to waste your money.
Yeah, no,
But no, seriously, we do appreciate this. Is a lot of learning process for us on the liquor side of things
Yeah.
because we're always talking about beer, and this is really really cool. And you can take mash right from beer and distill that. Correct. That's why you're gonna.
Absolutely.
You said you may have. We don't have to talk about it, but you said you may be doing something kind of cool beer related.
You'll see. There's a fair bit in Europe where they're taking and distilling stouts and IPAs and converting those into a whiskey. We're working on an experiment now where we're going to do that and see how it turns out.
You're kidding
Wow.
me.
No.
Wow.
That's just amazing. That's awesome.
say IPA? He said IPA. I just wanted to make sure.
What?
Cool. That sounds
He
great.
did a distilled IPA. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get all the hop characters,
I
and
know.
it's gonna be 40 to 50 proof.
And listen,
For,
there's
percent.
no coincidence that the SugarWorks logo looks a little bit like the Wonka logo, where magic is made.
Yes.
and dreams come
You're
true.
right. I never
Just
thought of
saying.
that.
I'm just saying that. I'm just floating that out there.
Hey, do you have little orange people working there?
No orange people.
No. Okay.
Yet,
But that'd be cool.
yeah.
Absolutely.
We got a receptionist though. She's a little tanner. And
Is she
stuff.
tanner?
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
She could be right there if you need her. This is great though. Wow.
So,
Smooth.
there
Again.
you're drinking 100 proof. This is
Yeah.
100 proof, and it's smooth like drinking a 50 or 60 proof.
What
That's I mean.
were you to mix that with? What would you recommend mixing it with?
We've done a couple of different things. Probably my favorite are either a mule,
Yeah.
Do the kick.
Yeah.
mule kick.
Yeah, that one's got it.
His leg wouldn't even move on that
So
one.
doing a mule is
Yeah.
actually really good.
Okay.
So that ginger beer works really well with the moonshine.
Yeah.
Another one we've done some experimenting with is a blueberry smash. So you've got blueberry, you've got honey, and then you add the moonshine to it. That corn really comes alive in there.
Oh, man.
It tastes fabulous.
Is there a
coming.
certain kind of corn that you use, or is it just what you can get?
It's local corn.
Okay, so because I know some corns are sweeter than other corns and have different. Because I'm a corn guy, I love corn. I've had 50 different types of corns. Birthdays, I've been taking the corn mazes.
Really?
And you can get different flavor profiles of the corn. Like the Zellwood and stuff down here is much sweeter than the corn if you're going to get up in the Midwest or even up in upstate New York. It's a little bit different. It's got a different flavor profile. But I didn't know if that characteristic would
See,
come
I'm
out.
learning about corn.
I know.
didn't- Well, I love corn.
It's kind of
I
a
really
master
do.
class in corn knowledge all of a sudden from
It is,
Vinny.
yeah. I've had it roasted, I've had it fried, I've
Yeah.
had it everything. But so it's kind of like a hop where it's a different flavor profile. So I didn't know if that would impart a different flavor on your.
Well, it
moonshine.
certainly can. And we use a local corn for ours. And
See that locals working with locals.
Yeah.
There again, right? Local sugar, local corn. So it's awesome using local ingredients.
Have you ever had, and I've had this, so I'll ask you, and this is not a euphemism, but have you ever had a kissing winch at a Renaissance festival, take an ear of corn, shuck it, jam it in a hot... All right, we're back. We're back. Sugarworks is here. Vinny, yes, our Perrott.
I got to get the remnants of the corn out of there, but we're all good. All right.
That's good. Good stuff.
So,
That's what dreams are made of right there.
here's to the
Yeah,
moonshine.
it's good
I stopped listening at Kissing Winch.
It really happened. It actually happened. The one Renaissance festival I went to, and it was the best ear of corn I've ever eaten or been forced to eat. Either
Well,
way.
I've been down to Renegers, and they do roasted corn.
Yeah.
And they bring the corn out, and they have these like 15 different spices they put on it. That's really good. And I don't know if you ever had Mexican street corn, where they put mayonnaise and a bunch
Is
of
that a
different spices
euphemism?
on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That's a real
That
thing?
is delicious.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that is really good.
Not very good for you, but it tastes great.
No, it's not very good for you at all. But it.
You said
it
Mexican
tastes good.
street corn.
Mexican
Got
street
it.
corn.
I misunderstood. I thought we were going to stop the show. Okay,
No,
good.
we're not going to stop the
All
show
right,
and
good.
talk about other things.
All right, good. I got
We're
it.
talking about corn.
Good, corn. Good.
Good.
What's next on the table? How about that?
Thank you, guy. It's the bottle that Vinny couldn't
our
open earlier.
Next product is our Callalisa Creek whiskey. This is, again, named after a local body of water. It is a traditional bourbon mash. So 21% rye, 75% corn, 4% malted barley.
Okay.
This is a really, really nice drink here.
So you said it's a bourbon.
It is.
What is the difference when it comes to whiskey between bourbon and Scotch?
The amount of time that it's aged and how it's aged. So it needs to be aged in American oak, and it has to be new American oak, and then it also has to be aged a minimum of 3 years. So as long as it meets those criteria and has the requisite amount of corn, at least 51%, then it can be called a bourbon. We elected to call this a whiskey because we weren't sure what aging we were going to put out initially. Does this technically meet the criteria for a bourbon? It does.
Oh, that's
So
Crazy
I just
smooth.
actually, funny, we talk about the rye. I read an article this morning that talked about how rye is making a comeback, rye whiskey. Is that something you guys will look at getting into?
Quite possibly. It's, we're obviously limited by space and resources,
Capacity,
and we have to pick and choose, but is rye a point of interest? Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's something that we're intrigued by. I love a good rye. So, it's very likely. I've got several things we're working on currently. I've got also another experiment that we're doing with some fruit, strawberries, to do a brandy.
Oh.
And I'm actually get a shipment of the organic strawberry juice today that
Oh,
I'm going
wow.
to start playing with.
Okay, so you're going to use real juice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And we'll see where that goes.
Awesome. So I like to hear
I love
that.
that there's weird science stuff happening on that end as well. We talk about the beer a lot.
Yeah, we talk about the beer all the
Don't-
time,
Just
but,
throwing
you know-
stuff in, see what happens. But I like that there's
These
that
guys
kind of
are-
experimentation to see how it turns out. Right.
There's one thing that I have to say about whiskey. I never, ever, ever, ever mix it with anything because it's just good on its own. So I'm about to taste it.
Okay?
Yeah, you're not going to want a mixer. at all with this. That
is better than anything I've bought.
It's really
to be
good.
honest with you, that is really good. That doesn't need ice.
Okay.
All the other ones that I do a couple of cubes of ice, and I actually squirt a little lime juice in there.
Okay. So you would drink this as they call neat?
Neat. Yes, I would drink this neat.
Okay.
If you were to mix it, what would you recommend? What would you think this sits well with?
I'd do a smoky maple or an old fashioned,
Yeah.
probably. Smoky maple would be awesome with this. Maybe even put a little bit of bacon in there.
Ooh.
That's breakfast.
Bacon makes everything better.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. It's a very good point.
That's
It
breakfast.
is a lesson learned. Bacon does make everything better.
So what you're saying is we can drink whiskey for breakfast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like it.
For sure. Especially during the holidays.
Yeah, why not, right?
Knock off
That's
for a
how we
couple
get through
days.
Christmas.
You head to Sugar Works. There's a Winn-Dixie across the damn street. You get a couple pounds of bacon. You're going to need 2 pounds. You buy a couple bottles at Sugar Works. You go nuts.
You go nuts
You
with it.
disappear for 4 days.
Yeah.
Who's calling the police?
Who's going to know? It's Christmas vacation.
Right.
You might have to keep your eye on this bottle when you.
I know. This is going to be the
Yeah,
bell of the
this is
ball
really
right there.
really good.
Tom, I think you're going to have
Wow.
to wrestle these guys.
It's going to get ugly once the camera's turned off.
Nah, but I keep talking about it, but I'm trying to drive the point home. Yes, some of these crafted are a little bit more expensive, but there's a reason why, right? You can go out and buy a bottle of big stuff for $8.99,
Yes.
but you've got to mix it with 30 different things to drink it. Where this, you pay a little bit more money for. You go home, you can drink it like you say, neat.
This is
You
a
can
very
mix it.
smooth whiskey.
Yeah.
Very
Again,
smooth.
Nice cigar whiskey, right?
Yeah. This is what I call a hide from my wife whiskey because she thinks that a bottle is there for us to share. Wrong. And then, two, that you should be mixing that with a generous amount of ginger ale. And that's fine for some, but for these, I would not sully that with.
I've actually
Any
had that
mixers?
problem with my mother-in-law with certain bottles of stuff, other local liquors
Yeah.
I've gotten, and I can't let her taste any of this either because I won't have it anymore.
You know what you need? Change of address form.
I do.
Help me.
I need to. She stays with us only a couple months out of the year.
You know it would work even better. Just change the locks. It's cheap.
Change
It's
the lock.
cheaper.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm actually waiting for my girl to do that. Every time I go home, I put the key in, and when it turns,
Click.
I got another day to sleep. I'm good. All right, so
That's beautiful.
Well, if it ever doesn't turn, call me.
I'm coming to your house.
I'll make sure I reserve you a room at a nice
That
hotel.
table back there, we can clean it off. It's all yours, buddy. It's all yours.
But all right.
Do we have anything else?
No, man, that's
No.
enough. How much more do you want?
Well, now we go to Sugar Works and wait for.
Yeah, we wait for the other stuff to come out too.
That's right.
So, are you? What are your hours?
So we're open Thursday through Saturday, 10 to 8, and Sunday, 10 to 6.
Okay. And you guys are a fellow that works with ABCs and totals, and I had too much already. And Lucas, they're working on making sure we can get this into Total Wine. Definitely. ABC and your local guys up around New Smyrna. I know you've got a couple on-premise places that you're already working on getting it in.
We do.
The hotel, right?
So it's at the Marriott Hotel. It's going to be at the Flagler Tavern,
Oh,
Kenny's Liquor, Outriggers, Sunshine Liquor, and where else?
the Kenny's and New Smyrna right there.
Yeah, the one you like.
That's my
the
jam.
one you walk in.
Yeah.
Big Mitch. Mitch is
Oh,
awesome.
love
That's-
that place.
Yeah, I think initially it's in his store in Edgewater, and then
Okay.
it goes out to the
I'm in
others from
Edgewater,
there.
so that's
That's perfect. That's his original store. That's his big bad boy.
I'm coming to your. I want to come to the place.
Yeah,
I want
you
to
have to.
sample some
Well,
more,
you
see
live-
if
you
I
know-
like it.
Maybe we'll do a live remote from there one day.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can roll up in your pajamas. We'll get it
Yeah.
all set and get it rolling.
Footy pajamas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That'll work out pretty good.
If you guys want to check them out, it's facebook.com/sugarworks distillery, and you go to srprot.com beer finder to find them.
Nice.
Well, I can only hope that in some way next week here on the Brew Review, when we have our very special Christmas edition.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, we can work some Sugar Works into.
I think.
the mix.
Well, how about it, Tom? You available next week? About
or
about
a
same time.
cardboard cutout of you
I
in a
can come
bottle.
back.
That's fine too.
Okay.
Give me a call. I'm just saying, for the holidays, no one will know.
Yeah. We'll put your picture on the bottle. So yeah, I think what we're going to do. I know we discussed this, but I think next week, it's still a couple weeks out from Christmas.
Yeah.
I think we're going to bring some of the local guys in
Yeah.
and sit down and do a family local Christmas show.
Like they all each bring their favorite beer
their
that they want us to try.
Whether it's only available at the draft on draft at the place or whether it's available wherever. I have spoken to a lot of them, so we should have just Florida guys coming out here and gals.
Perfect.
Nice.
Krista and those guys coming out and
Love it.
seeing what we can do. I know Jeremy from Tampa, and even though he's not Florida, I may invite Lagunitas.
Yeah.
Oh,
Andy's always welcome in
Yeah.
here.
He's awesome.
Yeah. He's got a
So,
season pass to this
He's got a
place.
season pass.
Well, we'll hang some stockings. We'll dress the place up. Guy will make the. He's going to make the rum cake.
Oh, nice.
With some
Which rum are you
Sugarworks
going to
rum.
use?
This rum, Sugarworks.
Spice
Yeah.
or the non-spice?
Spiced.
Spice.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
the spice.
Okay.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And I'll wear another festive holiday shirt next week. A
like
different one. Yeah.
It looks good.
Radio edit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know. Right?
That's it.
Just a wonderful looking shirt.
That's it.
It's awesome.
Well, chase us down on YouTube, too. Don't forget, right? You
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
go to the
YouTube.
channel.
Make sure you get out there.
95.7 The Hog Brew Review on YouTube.
Guys, please check it out because you're missing a lot of stuff, man. We do this show on these Fridays, but we can't fit it all in. So make sure you come out and check it on YouTube, and you can see how we're dressed and how I could not open the jar. And you can check it all out.
New Smyrna
Glad I
Beach.
could help you.
Yeah,
That's
thank
right.
you. I appreciate it.
You should be proud, NSB. You got Sugarworks.
Absolutely.
Taxi!